I'm heading over to the job site now to measure, triple check my numbers, and I'm actually going to cut the rough sawn lumber on site once I measure again. I always measure twice, cut once, or in this case measure 14 times, cut once, just because we've had some delays in getting these shelves done. And then once I cut them, and I'm going to put them back in on the brackets that I've already installed previously, as I explained. And I'm going to mark those so I can bring them back to the shop and then put them in the drill press to drill the holes. Once they're cut and the holes are drilled, then we'll start running everything through the planer and finish it up, stain it, seal it, and then we're back in business to go slide those suckers onto the brackets, and we are done. So get over there, I'll show you guys the hidden brackets that I've used, those dowels that I was talking about, and we'll go from there. On our way. Okay, so we're back in the shop. I got all my measurements. I actually, I cut everything. Unfortunately, I didn't film marking my holes for the dowels. I apologize for that. I got kind of rolling and I just forgot to bring my camera down there. So what I ended up doing with that is, again, I've got those steel dowels, those 1/2-inch dowels that are set into framing structure. We had to kind of do this retrofitted as they were finishing the basement, but I had the dowels in already, so I'm now coming back to drill those holes with my drill press and then start finishing these things out so we can put them back in. These are 1/2-inch dowels. So what I did basically is I'll just take that thing up there just so you guys understand. I'll set the shelf in there, lay it on top of the dowels, right, like they have a bracket, and I'll just mark on each side of the dowel, and that gives me my center point for where I'm drilling those two holes for each one of these shelves. So I'm going to do that first, that way I don't lose my marks. I'm going to drill those out, and then I'm going to go ahead and run them through the planer once on each side. That kind of gets me the look I'm going for, and it's a faster way to do it than starting to sand this rough lumber down from the beginning. And from there, I'm going to start sanding down and prep it, and then we'll move on. So next step is to drill these things out with the drill press and then into the planer. I've chosen an espresso stain, so a pretty dark color for these, just because it's got some really cool kind of offset grain patterns. Sometimes cedar doesn't always kind of offer that, but this is really cool roughs on stuff. So I'm going to try and accentuate some of that look with a darker stain, and it kind of ties into what's happening in the basement itself with the rest of the project. So I'm going to run probably 2 coats of this on here. It's important to really get that first coat in and into the grain pattern itself, so go heavy on your first coat, and then once I get it on there, I'm going to go ahead and wipe it off, let it set up dry, and then flip it over. We'll do the other side. Once that's done, I'm going to go back on with a wipe-on polyurethane, and probably 2 coats of that. Really, depending on how it lays out, I may or may not have to sand in between, so we'll see. But after that, we are good to go, and then we'll go put them in, and project's done, and that's it for setting up your floating shelves. Just one of the many ways to do it. It's a pretty simple project overall. Some millwork involved, but otherwise you could pretty much do this with some simple tools and just a little bit of understanding of how grain pattern and stains work, and pick your color and go at it. All right, let's get to it. All right, on to the polyurethane. I'm going with a semi-gloss clear for these, and I'm going to apply it the same way that I did the stain. I'm just going to go ahead and drizzle it on there, rub it in, get a nice good base going on this face and then the edges, and then when it's dry, I'll flip it over, do the other side, and then we're all set, ready to go, and on the install. So let's get started.